What does it mean to be creative? It can be defined as creating new ideas by combining different kinds of concepts and information using one's imagination. We have not known until now as to when creative thinking begins. Researchers at Birmingham University and Central European University have found that it begins as early as 1 year of age, even before the baby learns to speak. Researchers worked with 12-month-old infants who had not started to speak yet and could understand a few words. In the first part of the experiment, they taught the infants two made-up words which represented quantity: mice for one object and padu for two objects. In the second part of the experiment, infants were shown four different sets of objects: one duck, two ducks, one ball and two balls. And the researchers would say a phrase like padu ducks. They observed that the infant would look at the set of two ducks for a longer time as compared to other three sets of objects when the phrase padu ducks was said. Researchers suggest that an infant as old as 12 months can combine different concepts like quantity and kind, that is one or two, with different kinds of objects. This indicates the ability to combine different concepts to create new ideas. They further suggest that this creative thinking could be needed for learning language that they hear around them and in making sense of the environment, which helps them in learning fast. Does the brain size increase as the size of the body increases in the animal kingdom? Logic says it should, but that is not the case. Larger sized animals do not have a proportionally large brain. Researchers at the University of Reading and Durham University have constructed a model to explain this anomaly in brain size evolution, statistically at least. The researchers studied brain and body size of 1500 different species to develop their model. The model suggests that the brain size does not increase proportionally with the body size, that is, the relationship cannot be represented by a line but is instead seen as a curve. And this curve would suggest that the largest animals would not have as large brains as expected. Some of the animal groups that are responsible for causing this trend are primates, that includes humans, rodents and carnivores. They further found that the brain size increased much faster in these animals as they evolved in comparison to other animals. For example, when we look at evolution of humans, the brain size increased 20 times faster than all other mammalian species as the size of humans increased during evolution. The researchers suggest that it needs to be studied why the rate of increase in the size of brain had been different for different species. This would help in understanding the restrictions that evolution has put on the size of the brain in different animals. A large proportion of the body of animals is made up of water, and so are the muscles. Scientists at the University of Michigan and Harvard University have described muscles as active water-filled sponges that convert chemical energy into movement just like an engine, calling it as a soft engine. The brain controls the movement of muscles which contract and relax alternately to make movement of cells and body possible. Different proteins make this movement possible, and this protein machinery of the muscle is submerged in water. In this study, the muscles that cause very fast movements were studied to understand what restricts the movement of contraction of a muscle beyond a certain speed. The scientists found that the muscles, like the ones in the tail of a rattlesnake that move 10 to 100 times per second, can be directly controlled by neurons to achieve this speed. But it is not possible for neurons to directly achieve muscle movement of 100 to 1000 times per second as in the wing muscles of insects when they fly. Scientists developed a model to understand such fast movements. They found that the movement of water in the muscles can create high speeds of muscle contraction. So, muscle can be seen as an active sponge filled with water that contracts in length and squeezes to power movement of cells and body. The model also suggests that the movement of water inside the muscles puts a limit on how fast a muscle can contract.